Good morning, guys. It is, let's check before I grab this shoe, 7:07 a.m. Now, we've had a lot of great shoes coming to the lab recently. We have Nova Blast, Cloudmonster Hyper, Skyward X, all really awesome cushion shoes that have been giving me great runs, but something about this Invincible 3 here, every time I lace it up and put it on, I start liking it a little bit more. So it has this full bed, a Nike Zoom X, the racing foam. It is super soft and bouncy. It reminds me a lot of what I liked about Vaporfly 3 and 2, but of course you get more stability with this wider heel while also getting a little bit more ground feel in the forefoot, which is a similar vibe to one of my favorite daily trainers. I actually put this as my favorite daily trainer when I did my roundup list last week. This is the Vomero 17. So today we are going, I'm not going to say back to basics. This is not a basic shoe whatsoever, but we're going back to an oldie, but a goodie, the Nike Invincible 3, to do the double run day test, see how it stacks up to some of these crazier shoes that are hitting the market, like the Cloudmonster Hyper and the Skyward X. You don't need a plate every day. That's what the Invincible 3 argues. So I'm excited to get some more miles in this. Let's do it. All right, guys, we got to start in the most important place. And you might think it's random that I'm showing you my sock drawer, but it is not random because I cannot make a video about the Invincible 3 without these two dreaded words, heel slip. And socks can't fix everything, but I want to show you two different types of socks, two different brands here, but similar socks. These are features in the red. Those are dirty diapers right there. We got newborn diapers. And these are OS first here. And so let me open these up for you. And so if you look at these socks here, these are the ones that I normally use. You get a lot of padding around the heel. This eliminates any sort of heel rubbing Achilles issue. I've never had a shoe digging into my heel because I always use this. So these are the OS first. I think I forget exactly what they're called. I'll try to dig it up. And then these are the features. And they have that same heel tab. So if you have that heel slip issue, this can't fix everything. And I know some of the lacing that you guys do around with the runner's knot, that also fixes it. But this is one good way to eliminate any sort of rubbing and slip, and then tying it tight as well. And even if you go same brand, so let me see if I can find my features. Okay, yeah, this is what I was trying to show you. So this is the same type of sock. It's a features. But as I'm opening it up here, you can see it's the full length. It's the crew sock, so it doesn't have the same sort of padding around that Achilles heel area. So it's not going to do the same job as this sock might. So we'll go with the red ones today. I haven't had too much trouble with that heel slip issue yet. And the lockdown has been solid. The fit has been solid for me, but I also always wear these socks. And so I think that has a little bit of something to do with it. It's also, they're just comfortable socks, and it reduces any of that rubbing that you might get up in the forefoot of some shoes too. So these are the socks today. It is a beautiful 60 degrees, so we are going shorts for sure. Let me see if I can find some John G. Charlie's been telling me I need to reach out to John G. So we'll see. Maybe I can reach out to John G and get a giveaway or something going. Couldn't find any John G. I got pretty much the opposite of John G. We have the Lululemon shorts here, which I like, but I don't love. I think these are a little small for me, so they're tight. And then with the liner, they went with a white liner, which is just odd. You don't want a white liner in your running shorts. You want that black liner. They do have pockets, though, which is super nice. So Lululemon shorts, I'll give these a 6 out of 10. I think they're a little tight. Even in the correct size, they'd be a little tight. They hug my thighs a little bit, so you could loosen them up a little, add the black liner, then I'd bump that up to a 7 or 8 out of 10. And then we're almost getting into shirtless running territory, but I'm not going to scare anybody today. I will go with this shirt. Initially, I thought it was one of the weirdest shirt designs, but I've grown to like it. It reminds me of some Microsoft Paint art. Seems like someone just copied and pasted a bunch of random, what do they call those things? They had a word for the art icons. I'm forgetting what it was, but now I kind of like it. And the blue of this, I don't even know, the guy who's winning here, the blue behind him, it looks like it's a river. Like they're running on top of a river. They're not. They're running on a road. It's the same blue as the shorts, so that's cool. All right. I'm gonna put this stuff on, and then we can talk through the plan for the run. Came to the party for the photos. What do you guys think of the We Still Don't Trust You, the second Future Metro album? Honestly, I'm more of a trap guy in general, but so I like the second. Oh gosh, this is locked. So I like that little mixtape that they put at the end, but the first part has been growing on me a lot too. I don't normally love singing R&B music, but something about the new album is good. All right, so plan for the run. So last week was all about recovery, easing back into training, getting that marathon out of our legs, out of our system. And I could still feel yesterday in my 16-mile long run, I could still feel a little bit of that fatigue in my legs from the marathon. But this week, we're just going to power through. I'm putting it behind me and getting back to the grind, man. I just love crushing mileage. So today, another double day. We did our first double day back last week. This morning, I'm aiming to get 10 to 12 miles, this is my cornerstone run of my high mileage training system, doing 10 to 12 every morning. That's what allows me to get 100 plus miles a week. It's really hard to get that much mileage if you can't get 10 to 12 every morning. So we're getting back to that schedule. Double-digit runs in the morning, and it is a beautiful time of year here, and I think it's almost going to be shirtless season. So we'll see how these Invincibles hold up over a 90-minute. Probably take me roughly 90 minutes to do this run. I haven't taken them up past 30 to 40 minutes yet, so this will be a good test for that. And yeah, every time I lace these up, it is just a really comfortable shoe, and the only uncomfortable part of having them on, or not even uncomfortable, but unique, different part of having them on walking around is it almost feels like a race shoe in the way that, and it's not a rockered shoe, but in the way that the drop puts you up on your toes. And I know when we hear put you up on your toes, you think about having one of those curved platforms like the Hoka Cielo X1 or the Alpha Fly where it rolls you forward. But with this, it's like a high heel. It literally is a high heel. The heel is a lot higher than the front. Look at this. So you're slanted forward, and it's pushing you forward onto your toes. And it has a lot of cushion in the heel, but then not so much in the front. So I like having a little bit more of a controlled, nimble feel up in the front. And this is an everyday run. Like I said, a cornerstone kind of run. So right now we're using it as a daily trainer, not a max cushion recovery shoe. And it is a little bit of a hybrid. So super comfortable right now. I'm excited to get 90 minutes in it. Let's do it, baby. All right, guys, what we got this morning? 12.07 miles, about 90 minutes and a 7:18 pace, which again, moving at a little bit of a faster clip than I would have been last cycle. On this run, I probably would have done a straight recovery run, 10 miles, gotten hour 20, maybe 8-minute pace. So trying to keep the pressure up a little bit more. And look at this, Nike Invincible 3, nice shoe for this run. We'll break it down a little bit, but very soft. And this shoe, when I was out there, is making me question some of the other shoes we've brought into the lab, the office recently, because with the shoe like this being so comfortable and some of the nice, soft, comfortable options we have, I don't know if my preferences are changing or if I'm just leaning towards, in general, these softer, more maximal shoes being better for the style of training that we're doing right now. So let's pop them off and get into that. So one of the shoes that I ran in for the first time last week was the Saucony Ride 17. Now that is a little bit less cushioned than the Invincible. It has 35 millimeters in the heel instead of 40, which is a difference, but not a huge difference, and actually a similar amount of cushion in the forefoot. Gotta get the right lighting here for you guys. Boom. So yeah, similar amount of cushion here in the forefoot in that mid-high 30s range, and this compresses more than that Power M Plus foam, so it's going to feel similar. And man, one of the things I was thinking out there is, why would I voluntarily run in a shoe like the Ride 17 again, other than to test it for you guys? But what is the additional benefit I'm getting from running in the Ride versus the Invincible 3? And as I was just saying, man, I think my preferences right now are shifting more toward these softer, forgiving shoes. Better for high mileage. It's a more fun bounce that I'm getting out of the Zoom X foam, and I just feel more cushioned and comfortable out there. With the Ride 17, it wasn't necessarily uncomfortable, but I felt that the shoe was a little bit too firm when I was running fast. And so they're not necessarily direct competitors, and I know I'm harping on the Ride 17 a little bit, but the whole point is that I think most of us, if you're training higher mileage or just want something more fun, will really enjoy the Invincible 3 here. Now, in terms of that heel issue that we were talking about, the heel slip, those two dreaded words with the Nike Invincible 3, I got absolutely zero of that today. And if you saw as I was lacing it up, I made sure to pull these top two laces a little bit tighter than I normally would have with other shoes, and that worked. I didn't feel any looseness, I don't know if is that a word? I didn't feel any looseness around here, and I actually felt like I got a really nice seal. And it's surprising to me that a lot of people are complaining about this, because it is really hard back here. So I've said this before, but if I didn't know that were an issue with this shoe that a lot of other runners had, I wouldn't have even identified it as one of the weak points in this shoe. So really nice fit. Now, drop here. It is an aggressive drop, and I'm glad that this is a max cushion shoe, because the 4-foot foam does compress a lot up here. Now, for the run itself, let's see if we can take a look at this. So, started off around 7:20 pace, hit a few at 7:20, got 7:15, 7:20, and we're cruising at the 7:20, 7:30 pace, and then last three fast finish a little bit at 7 flat and 6:40. And so last three here, I actually decided to work on some hill strength work, or hill form efficiency, hill bounding. So driving the arms a little bit more, focusing on landing up in the 4-foot here, pushing off with the toes to get some good form, because I've been reading the Cerruti book, The Athletics, How to Become a Champion book. He was a coach from Australia who coached a bunch of champions, so he is qualified to talk about it. And one of the things he had his athletes do was run in the sand dunes at Portsea out there in Australia, and they'd be barefoot, shirtless, just charging up those hills, working on some strength and efficiency. And so we have a great hilly course out here in Mint Hill, North Carolina. Probably not as beautiful as Portsea, but look at that. We got tons of birds in the tree here. And it might not be as beautiful as Portsea, Australia, but if you see right here, that's a massive hill. I have to charge up that for the last little section of my run here. And I don't know how many feet of elevation gain I got. Let me see. I don't even know if it says it here. Yeah, we got 500 feet of elevation gain. And so this entire course that we have across the 12 miles is very hilly. So that's something I'm going to focus on working on a little bit more this block. I'm also going to be focused on working a little bit faster pace for my everyday runs. I don't want to be hanging back as much, making the easy runs feel super easy. And it's not all about pushing the pace super hard every day, but I was very conservative last year, throughout the whole year, focused on not getting injured, building up the aerobic base. And now that I've run 10, 100 straight mile weeks, and I think I actually probably did close to 20, 100 mile weeks last year in total, I've proven that my body can handle the work. So now the next layer, the next level, the next bit of stimulus I'm going to apply on top of that is making that 100 miles a little bit faster. I'm not thinking I'm going to increase the volume all that much. I want to focus on one thing at a time, so don't add mileage and intensity together. We're going to notch up the intensity just a little bit more. And running at 7:18 average pace for an aerobic run, that is right in the middle of what my aerobic running should be based on the VDOT tables. But most people who are running a 250 marathon like I just did, or 249, aren't doing 100 miles per week, so their aerobic runs would probably be closer to 6 to 8 miles. So that's the thing. I'm doing a little bit more mileage than is necessary for what my level of fitness is, but I'm catching up because I haven't been running for 10 years. And someone commented on my marathon recap. They said, what did he say? Oh, I've been in 240 shape for 10 years, running just 70 miles a week. And the key thing there isn't the 70 miles a week. It's the 10 years. 10 years ago, I was not building my aerobic base. 10 years ago, I was playing lacrosse and basketball and getting into all sort of shenanigans that were probably damaging my lungs and not building up aerobic fitness. So I only started running more than 50 miles a week about 2 years ago. So I'm still catching up. And so my hope is that by adding some additional mileage earlier on in my running career, I can pull forward some of those aerobic gains, concentrate them into these first few years, have my body adapt to higher mileage while I'm still racing at a little bit slower than is probably my full potential and training a little bit slower than is my full potential. But once the aerobic gains have been made, start to layer on some speed work once my body is adapted to that higher mileage. So that's what I'm focused on right now. A little bit faster aerobic runs, keep them 10 to 12 miles. Keep the doubles. Maybe we'll add in some gym strength work as well. But it's all a beautiful journey. It is a grand experiment. And that's what I love about running and about being self-coached is I can read these books, see what's worked for my training, implement different things in my training, and then adjust based on the results and based on how I'm feeling versus following a prescribed schedule that someone else generates, because I'm not going to learn anything else or anything at all if I'm just following what a coach says. And there will be a time to do that. Maybe not. But right now, that's not what we're doing, baby. We are experimenting and having a lot of fun with it. So with that, I got to shower, put these Invincible back. First run of the day in the books. A day to remember. Look at that. It's funny. They want you to put some sort of a race result here. But we can just put April 15th, tax day 2024, event, morning aerobic base building run. Record is first 12-mile run on a Monday in April after our second marathon. We did 16 miles yesterday, but it's the first exact 12-mile run. All right, guys, shower time. All right, Charlie just got back. We'll see what the Trader Joe's haul is today. What are those? High-low impact. You guys want to see the high-low impact review? Keep telling you what? No feet. No, there's no feet. There's just shoes. She said someone at the Greenway wearing Yeezys. Asked what these are. Fire. I haven't even run in mine yet. Trader Joe's haul. Hey. Major key.
And I got regular white bread.
Whole wheat.
Just kidding.
What the heck? I said to get white. Good source of fiber sweetened with honey. This is going to be gross.
No, this is like...
Is that for the sandwiches?
It's a lot of ingredients.
Is that for the sandwiches?
No, it was like for peanut butter and jelly and stuff. Also on Friday,
Okay.
Guess what? There's an Earth Day celebration. Has Mason been asking you what we're going to do for Earth Day?
No.
Yeah, she keeps asking me what we're going to do to celebrate Earth Day. And I'm like, dude,
Nothing.
Are you ready for a full Supwell Trader Joe's
Yeah.
unboxing?
Supwell Kitchen, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Ethan Lavoie.
Oh, is Ethan the recipe requester?
Oh, he just loves Supwell Kitchen. People ask me if I do strength work. This is how you get jacked.
11-pound baby is it? Here.
I'm doing curls for the girls. Sorry.
What girls?
You know that feeling when you just have future lyrics stuck in your head and they're just not appropriate to sing out loud? Cutting with my nail, I got crazy clientele. She went ham. She got bags on bags on bags in here. Bags on the floor, bags in the passenger seat. What up, Roni? How's that aerobic base doing?
It's great. She walked 3 miles.
She walked 3 miles? Mm-hmm. With you.
Mm-hmm. It was her first real jaunt on the Trader Joe's game.
That's great. Yeah. Broccoli raw or broccolini? Yeah, the rapini is where it's at. Guys, this is what one Nike Invincible 3 worth of groceries is.
How much is it?
I'm just kidding. It's not Invincible 3. This is actually how much one Cloudmonster Hyper worth of groceries is. $214. $180. And this is $220. So you could buy the Skyward X or the Cloudmonster Hyper, or you could feed a family of 5 for a week. So what are some of the meals we're making this week?
We're making Brussels sprout gnocchi. We're going to make corn chowder. We're going to do the orange tofu with rice and broccoli as requested.
Fire.
We're going to do falafel neti bowls.
Oh, the fire roasted corn is back? Oh no, that was the Whole Foods item. You got a good mix of prepared stuff and Whole Foods. This is the super healthy area. Brussels sprouts, celery, yeah, broccolini, broccoli, potatoes, spinach, peppers, sweet potatoes, yeah, produce, and then gnocchi. This bread, we got it last time too, really good. And then of course, are you really a running household without having the bagels on deck? I don't know. And then this is a great kid snack. I'll probably smash a bunch of this before the double. The Trek Mix, and adult snack. Yeah, kids of all ages. Very cool. And what's for lunch today?
For lunch today? Well, I'm going to have my sheet pan Brussels sprouts.
Okay, so she says I have to fend for myself. Stacking bread.
You have cheese on your grits, sweetie. You got cheese, dude.
All right, lunch. We have 2 teriyaki. It's teriyaki, right?
It's like
Brown sugar.
tempeh bacon.
Okay, 2 tempeh bacon sandwiches, BLTs, but no tomato. We have avocado with the vegan cheese melted, mixed greens on whole wheat bread with a little of that vegan mayo. It looks absolute fire. Let's go. The sandwich bread is like the Zoom X and the Invincible 3. Soft, but structured enough. She came up with that. Just finishing up my lunch here, I just show you, I got a funny comment. This guy can't be trusted. No context, no elaboration. Very ominous. I don't know why, but you can't trust me, according to this dude. But all right, I want to do a comparison. All right, so I want to compare the Invincible to some older max cushion shoes that it's competing with, and for me that it's reminding me of. So Invincible 3 here, using the Zoom X, New Balance 1080 V13, using the Fresh Foam X, and then Asics using the foam which shall not be named. I guess the Fresh Foam X is also in the same category because foam feels different in a bunch of shoes. But 1080 here was my favorite softer max cushion shoe for relaxed running. And the main differences between this and the Invincible is that today Invincible felt a lot better for faster daily miles, even though the stack heights are similar and you actually get a little bit more stack in the Zoom X versus the 1080 V13. This just has more bounce to it, and when I'm picking up the pace, it doesn't feel like I'm sinking into the foam as much. There is a little bit of that sinking, which is where some of that underfoot comfort comes from, but with the Fresh Foam here is way more of that soft squish, not enough, or not, I'm going to say not enough, but not the bounce that I would want for running 90 minutes at a faster aerobic pace. So this is an awesome shoe for recovery miles, for days where wasn't really worried about picking up the pace, and for last cycle. This was a great shoe for everything that I was doing in 2023, early 2024, where I was focused more on just getting mileage, pure mileage, not worried about pace, not worried about hitting certain zones or targets for my daily runs. Right now, this gives me the same comfort. Invincible 3 gives me the same comfort underfoot as a 1080, but a little bit better performance when I do pick up the pace. So I will say though, downside of the Invincible for a lot of people, I think is going to be how the forefoot feels. It is very squishy under here, and you do get bounce, but very squishy in the forefoot. And the 1080, you get a little bit more protection, and the 1080 also has a more moderate drop. This is a 6mm drop versus the 10 millimeters in the Invincible 3. So if you don't like that high heel feeling in a shoe, the 1080 is going to be a better bet for you. But for faster running, I didn't mind it. It put me up on my toes a little bit more. So that's Invincible versus 1080 here. Now, Nimbus, this guy, similar to 1080, very soft and not a ton of bounce. In the run that I did today, I would not have used this shoe for it. I did not love this shoe for any sort of faster running. It's even squishier than the 1080. Not necessarily softer, but squishier in that I was sinking down into the foam a lot and not getting as much return. And so of these three shoes, the Gel-Nimbus is the most rockered. You can see it has this nice curve up in the front, which is nice. So it does give you some of that nice, easy turnover as you're gliding along. But I would take this more personally for recovery miles, those days where I'm feeling super beat up and just getting out there to move and groove. So of this batch here, 1080 would be my choice for recovery. I like this more than the Gel-Nimbus. It's a little bit softer, but also the foam doesn't feel as much underfoot. So far, Invincible 3 would be my pick of these three for daily miles where I want to pick up the pace a little bit. And then Gel-Nimbus, I wouldn't choose it over either of these two. I like the 1080 better for relaxed days, and I like the Invincible 3 better for pace. Now, durability is going to be a question for all these three shoes, and none of them are really known to be workhorse style, super durable shoes. You can take a look at the 1080 here. I have 300 miles on it, and let's see. Yeah, on this one, I've worn through the outsole. So decent durability on it, but it's not going to be like a Puma or Adidas where at 300 miles on the Boston 12, there's barely any outsole wear. So I do have to say though, the performance of the foam in the 1080 is still pretty good. I could probably get it up to 400 miles if I wanted to, but the wet weather performance and the rubber itself isn't holding up that well. And then Gel-Nimbus, this foam just lost any sort of bounce for me before 300 miles, so not a super durable shoe. I do know that runners who are a little bit lighter on their feet tend to do better with this shoe, getting it up to even 500 miles. So that's going to be a consideration with this guy. And then the Invincible, we're probably going to get this up to 100 miles, do a little bit of a durability test. But again, this is a little bit of a mixed bag where some runners take the shoe to 400, 500 miles. Others, I had friends out in the UK who say running a lot in the wet weather really did a number on these outsoles, and even some of the glue started to come off with the rubber attached to the foam, and they had to super glue it back on. Where that guy said, this is a durable shoe if you use super glue. And that's not really the best compliment you could give to a shoe. So a little bit of a mixed bag here. The other Nike shoes have been very durable for me, Vomero and Pegasus. So we'll see how the Invincible fares. But man, I'm excited to get another run in the shoe. That's how you know it's a nice daily trainer option when I have the first run done, a bank 12 miles, and I'm already looking ahead to that second run and excited to see how it's going to do. And I think we're going to have our first stroller run back after the marathon today. So that'll be a fun little test. All right, guys, I got to make some coffee, and then it's going to be school pickup time. And then I will double back for the double run later today. Oh, one more thing. Let me know what other shoes you want to see me compare the Invincible to. Should I compare it to the Superblast? Should I compare it to SC Trainer V2? Should I compare it to Nova Blast, Mach 6? Let me know if you want to see any full comparison videos as I start getting some serious mileage in this guy. All right, I'll see you later. How you big stepping with the size 7 men's on? We do not have a size 7 men's. We have a 10.5, but it is 3:40 p.m. and we're going to hit our stroller double in the Invincible 3. I think this is usually my favorite round of the week when we do a nice relaxed stroller double. And look at this. It is beautiful outside, probably about 85 degrees. So we are going to be sweating, definitely shirtless run material out there right now. First stroller run back, and it is beautiful. I cannot see a cloud. I do see the moon though. Can you guys see the moon? Look at that. I love that. Moon during daylight. Anyway, lots of green. Grass is green. Longevity needs to come out here and cut it. I don't know if they missed a week, but it's looking super long. But yeah, we're gonna get our first stroller run. How you feeling, buddy? So plan for this run, 8 miles around our classic loop here. It is also pretty hilly. And wow, this is such a cushioned shoe. Every time I put it on, the immediate step-in feel you get is incredible. It's amazing. It's got to be one of the best step-in feel shoes. I think the other shoe is probably the New Balance 1080, but something about this Zoom X, when you put it on underfoot, it is just so comfortable. But yeah, 8 miles, about 1 hour. One of the things I'm still trying to figure out with these stroller runs as I move into a new cycle of training and modify it, as I was telling you guys this morning, running those daily miles a little bit faster. The stroller miles don't really fit into that framework because I have to run these a little bit slower. I can't push the pace too much without completely blowing up my legs, and this is almost like my strength work for the week because it does work the legs a lot going up and down these hills. But I'm not going to be able to get the same aerobic benefit I want. It's basically like you get the same or lower aerobic benefit with more wear and tear on the legs, which is the opposite of what I want to do right now. I want to get a greater aerobic stimulus with less wear and tear on my legs, which is why I've been going for shoes like the Invincible and the Hoka Skyward X. So still figuring out where this fits into the framework. Maybe I'll just go completely in the opposite direction and start smashing these stroller runs and use them as my workouts to kill two birds with one stone. I was trying to think of a cuter way to say that, but I didn't. All right, I think I might actually have to go inside and get this kid some Cheerios, but then we're gonna hit this run. What'd you say? Okay. Package is secured. Can't lie, I am feeling a little bit of looseness on this right shoe here around the back. So I'm just gonna crank it a little bit tighter and that should resolve the issue. Simple as that. Voila. Yeah, we are locked in there. I think it's just, you guys aren't tying your shoes tight enough, man. Oh man, I would usually say, let's see how many we got, but I know exactly how many we got. We got 8.00. Yeah, average 8:54 pace. And man, that was one of those runs where I wanted to quit. Not the entire time, but from mile 3 on, I wanted to quit. And I don't think it would have mattered what shoes I had on today. So it's nothing about the shoes, but man, 12 miles earlier today, and then 8 miles with the stroller. This was the first stroller run back after the marathon, and it always takes me a little bit of time, whether I have had a race or not. Even if I just don't run with the stroller for a week or two, it takes me some time to get the stroller legs back. It's like if you're a big lifter and you don't do squats for a month, and then you try to come back and do a heavy set of 5, your legs are just going to be absolute toast. And sorry, there's just a bunch of flies around here. So, man, my legs are completely smoked from the stroller run and from, of course, probably still a little bit of the marathon in the legs and long run yesterday and 12 miles this morning. But, and the reason we're walking over here, I would usually jog the last little bit to the house, but I decided to get exactly 8.00 because that's what we signed up for. But that's what we signed up for today, and that's why I didn't quit, because yesterday I cut the long run short. I was going to do 20 miles, and I was feeling a little bit tired, making excuses, didn't want to slow down in the end. And I told you, like Coach Mike Tomlin says, the standard is the standard, and that was not the standard yesterday. So today, we're back up to the standard, baby. I don't care how slow the stroller miles are. We got it done. And that's the thing about running, and that's why I love running, and that's why I come out here every day and hammer, because no matter how fast I am, we didn't quit, and we got it done. And it reminds me that I'm not a quitter, and I'm going to get it done no matter what it is. It's the same thing with the channel, baby. And that's why I do the everyday posting, because some days it's not going to be the best video in the world. I'm not designing these videos to go viral. I'm designing it to get out the message. And sometimes you just got to put in the work and execute. And that's what I'm all about right now. So we executed 20 miles on the day, 8-mile stroller run, and to the shoes. So this was a recovery style run, running 9-minute miles, which for me is a little bit on the slower side for sure. Hold on, I got to switch hands with the camera. And this is a shoe that really only has one mode, and it is soft and bouncy. And the pace I was running earlier, 7:30 to 8-minute pace, so I guess I was 7 to 7:30, but right around 7:30, that's really where these shoes for me feel the best. I think they're a pretty one-note shoe. And so if you're looking for a shoe to really hang back and not push any pace, this, oh man, the flies are really coming out. This, for me at least, isn't that one. It really wanted me to, again, get up on my toes, run a little bit faster than that super low and slow effort. And so it felt a little bit like I was getting some of that instability and maybe a little bit too much bounce versus what I was expecting and hoping for, and versus what I would have gotten out of that 1080 that I keep talking about. And the other thing is, oh, look who we have. I don't know if he's coming for us. That was the UPS guy. But the other thing about the shoes is that I think I still might favor the Vomero as an all-around shoe, because the Invincible 3 does one thing, and it does it really well. That soft, bouncy, pop-along feeling. The Vomero feels like it has a little bit more range to me. Like it can flex a little bit more to doing some relaxed miles and doing those same steady to everyday miles that the Invincible is so good at. So I'm gonna grab a little sports recovery drink and then pop back out here and take the shoes off. Hello, how's it going? We had some drama. Yeah, see you in a sec. So guys, I got these at the marathon. They're called Hoist. I showed it in my marathon wrap up, and they're pretty fire. They don't have any food coloring. They taste good. I'm really trying to get in contact with them because I think it might be a cool partnership for us and maybe do a giveaway or something, but I like them so far. I've been testing them. This is the blue raspberry flavor. You want to sip? It is not for kids, unfortunately. I don't think we got anything from UPS today. All right, so yeah, after 20 miles, I like the shoe, but this was the run, and I'm glad I did this second run when it was more recovery style. This was the run that exposed the weakness of the Invincible 3, and that is, it is a one-note shoe. There's no taming the bounce, and I know the Invincible 1 and 2 had a little bit more of that uncontrolled bounce from what I've heard about them, but this still is a very bouncy shoe. And for any of those runs where you just want to cruise along, I wouldn't be picking this one. Now, I haven't tried the Infinity Run 4, but I think that might be the Nike to get if you want more of a slow cruiser. And it is heavy, but I don't think it's going to be as aggressively bouncy as this guy here. And then one final note on these guys. I've been running the Skyward X and the Cloudmonster Hyper, the Superblast, some of those, that new category of really stacked shoes with these racing foams. And this can hang maybe with the Superblast. It's a little bit more uncontrolled, less stable. But compared to the Skyward X, that shoe is just an absolute monster when it comes to protecting the legs and cruising. So this is a fun shoe, but I don't think it can hang with that little bit more expensive category. So it'll be interesting to see if Nike in 2024 or 2025, either with the Invincible 4 or an Invincible Pro, an Invincible X or something, adds a little bit more stack and maybe a plate and creates a shoe to compete with the Superblast, Cloudmonster Hyper, and Skyward X, now that we're seeing this new category of 40 plus millimeter shoes. So that's all I have for you today, guys. I really appreciate you watching. I'm glad we didn't quit. And I hope you don't quit either. Just start something and don't quit. That's my message for you today. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. By the way, one more thing, disclaimer. This is not training advice. You got to do what works for you. I'm not saying everyone should be doing 20-mile doubles 8 days after the marathon. This is what works for me. This is what I can do, but you got to do what works for you. And if you want to quit in the middle of a run because it doesn't feel good, you should do that. But that was not what was on the schedule today. Okay, I think I got my bases covered. Hopefully I don't get sued by anybody. I'll actually see you guys tomorrow. One more thing. The tofu looks fire. Look at this meal. Oh, look at that steam coming off. Orange glazed tofu with the white rice and the fresh broccoli. This is one of the best run recovery meals. My favorite run recovery meal, the one that she usually makes after races. Fire.